Hi everyone, today I'm going to present to you health, safety, and environmental protection, compliance and legislation, social responsibility, and lastly, markets and use of the commodity. In Western Australia, the Department of Mines and Petroleum and the Radiological Council in Western Australia regulate at the highest international level to ensure that risk to workers, communities, and the environment from uranium mining is minimized. The department's primary objective is to ensure that community and workers are safe and that any mining meets all safety, health, and environmental standards, consistent with relevant state and federal legislation, regulations, and policies. Uranium exploration and mine workers are subjected to a broad range of safety regulations, protocols, and practices, and a more rigorous health monitoring regime than most other mine workers. The International Commission on Radiological Protection recommendation on the dose limitation states that any radiation dose arising from human activity must be justified, optimized, and limited. Mine workers employed in the uranium industry must undergo irradiation management trainings listed below. Every exploration and mine site presents a unique set of environmental issues to be documented and addressed. There are a number of constants that every company is required to address. The major risks are posed by radioactive dust and contaminated water. At an international, national, and state level, standards and safeguards are applied to ensure that the industry meets its obligations of security, safety, and non-proliferation, and monitoring these standards occurs at all levels. As far as is practical, the industry design, construction, commissioning, operation, and waste management practices are standardized and regulated uniformly across all nuclear sectors. The United Nations Scientific Committee on the Effects of Atomic Radiation is acknowledged as the world's leading authority on levels and effects of ionized radiation. It was established in 1955 with a committee comprising scientists from 15 designated UN member states, including Australia. IAEA, the peak world advisory body, is the International Atomic Energy Agency, reporting to the United Nations General Assembly and Security Council. The IAEA devises, maintains, and monitors nuclear safety standards for every aspect of the industry, and ensures that all member states abide by them. The agency verifies compliance via an inspection and reporting regime. The International Commission on Radiological Protection is an independent international organization with international membership drawn from the scientific and policy-making communities. Its goal is to prevent cancer and other diseases and effects associated with exposure to ionized radiation, to protect the environment, ICRP recommendations from the basis of radiological protection standards, legislation, programs, and practice worldwide. NPT, or the Non-Proliferation Treaty, is one of the nuclear world's most well-known and highly regarded instruments. It has been in force for over 40 years, and Australia has been a member since 1973. Australia is a signatory to all 5 of the following IAEA conventions covering the areas of nuclear safety, radiation, physical protection, transport, and waste rectified by the agency since 1986. There are 4 organizations on the national level: the Australian Radiation Protection and Nuclear Safety Agency, the Australian Safeguards and Non-Proliferation, the Federal Department of Resources, Energy and Tourism, and the Australian Nuclear Science and Technology Organisation. These 5 federal legislation instruments are administered by the Australian Radiation Protection and Nuclear Safety Agency. The Western Australian uranium mining industry has in place a stringent regulatory system, primarily administered by the Department of Mines and Petroleum, verified by a complex system of permits and licenses, reporting and verification by inspection. Although uranium mining has only been permissible since 2008, Western Australian regulators have over 4 decades of experience in regulating radioactive materials as a result of mineral sands and tantalum mining, including the management and transport of these radioactive products. This slide lists 7 key legislations in Western Australia. Social responsibilities consist of many aspects, such as corporate social responsibility, contributing towards society in ethical terms, fundamental role of sustainable development, and ethical management. In overall, companies must assume responsibility in local and national development and must orient their activities towards satisfying society in general. Australia is among the biggest 3 uranium suppliers in the global market. We produce over 6,600 tons of uranium in year 2020. However, nuclear power has lost its popularity since the Fukushima disaster. But due to fears over production interruption in Kazakhstan and Russia, its price has been going up since 2021. This chart shows the biggest consumers in the world. Australia is a big supplier, but not a big consumer because there is only 1 reactor for scientific and research purposes. This is the end of the presentation. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask.